All right, praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. Get this show on the road at John chapter 5, verse 39. We're going to try to continue on what we've been talking about the last couple of days. See how we're going out. John chapter 5, verse 39. Says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of the Most High in you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was sitting here telling you, man, it doesn't necessarily mean that the love of God is not in you if you still are moved and dictated by your emotions. But I mean, if the love of the Most High, remember, matter of fact, come back to the Epistle of Jude, what we looked at last night. That's something that he mentioned. Somebody do something with that status. Got a lot of stuff going on. I appreciate it. And he did nothing with it yet. I think it's about verse 17 that I want. I'm going to read that one more time. He say, but beloved, remember the words which were spoken before of the apostle of our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, how that they told you that there should be mockers in the last time, who should walk after their own ungodly lusts. These be they who separate themselves sensual, not having the spirit. Do you see what he said? They separate themselves, because if they sensual, what does that make them? That make them carnal. You know what I'm saying? If you still moved and dictated by your emotions, hold on, we got a whole crew coming in here. What's going on, little Stanley? Yes, sir, yes, sir. What's going on, young man? I'll get you some chairs right there if you need me. You know what I'm saying? And what I want you to understand is if you sensual and you're not having the spirit, then if you don't have the spirit, what you don't have? You don't have life. So then we're going to have to look at the things which are separating us, because there's somebody going to be sitting right there, man, they in the bathroom. And it comes down to this. Being sin, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with that flesh is a very, very dangerous thing. You know what I'm saying? Because hold what you got. Go to Galatians 5 and 14. Since I mentioned it, we're going to talk about it. I said it to you last night. We're going to look at it right now. What kind of desert boost them is, Dan?
Man, I got these from, I don't know the name, man. I just know it's $29.
They're nice, though.
Ain't no $2.
Galatians 5 and 14. Make it 13. Galatians 5 and 13. Listen to what he say. He say, for brethren, you have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Now I'm going to show you something. He said you've been called to freedom, but don't use your freedom as a chance to satisfy your flesh. Now what do you think Paul can mean by that when he make that statement? Don't use your liberty. Because that's what we've been talking about this week, right? Being in bondage and being free. You know what I'm saying? You sit back looking at us being in Egypt is akin to being in prison. You know what I'm saying? Then you get free from prison, and us being in the wilderness is like transitional living. Because now you got to get ready to come in the free world. Coming into the land, we're actually coming into freedom. And what would happen when we got in the land? Because we were mentally deranged and still captive and institutionalized of what we learned in Egypt, the same things we did in prison, we did in the land. And then what ended up happening? You ended up going back to prison because you went into captivity after captivity. See, we mostly know about the captivity of Babylon and Rome. But y'all we're going to look in the book of Judges. They went into captivity numerous times. You know what I'm talking about? Numerous times under numerous different people. Because they just couldn't get it right. And then that's why I told y'all Wednesday, it's amazing that we see our people going into captivity or bondage or prison over and over again. And we see how our people get out of jail and prison and go right back over and over and over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that other races don't do it, but of course you're going to be more cognizant of your people doing it because that's who you see. Because we know it's more white people in prison than black people. Now I said, now relative to the total population, it's more black people in prison than white people. You know what I'm saying? We only 13% of the country's population. We over 50% of those that are incarcerated in local, state, and federal facilities. You know what I'm saying? So you already got to know that there's a systematic plan to have you in that state. Because there's nowhere in the world 13% of a group should make up 50% of another group in such a negative fashion. You know what I'm saying? So you know that's a systematic design. But that systematic design come from it, they done kept the knowledge of our God away from us. You know what I'm saying? In every fashion. Y'all know when we came over here on them slave ships, what's the first thing they did? They changed your name. What else did they do? They changed your language. They took your God and gave you another one.
Separated your family.
You know what I'm saying? They separated you from your family members. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you could have any type of familiarity with, they took that away from you. But the main key thing is they did this. They took your God, they took your language, and they took your name. So that way, you know what ends up happening if I take all three of these things away from you? You know what I'm saying? What y'all think happened if I take all them things away from you? If somebody came in here, took Dwight's name away, took the language he spoke away, took his God away from him, what you think gonna happen to him? He gonna be destroyed. Shalom. He gonna be destroyed. What you gonna have left after that? I mean, what you think you gonna have after that? That's the whole point. That was their agenda, and that was their plan. You know what I'm saying? To leave you with nothing. Hold what you got. Come over here to 1 Samuel chapter 23. It looks like somebody had liberty, but he didn't take that opportunity to occasion for his flesh, but he took it out as an opportunity to love and serve each other. Even the men who did it. 1 Samuel 23 by 10. Verse 10. 1 Samuel 23 and 10. All these trying to hear him though. But what y'all gave before you brought?
Oh, sure.
Man, no. I was tripping off what that was. Wednesday, boy. I don't know, boy, I should have not had gave. I mean, 2 Samuel 23, I should say. I should have not gave Lizzie that donut, boy. Yeah. I let her and Leah split it. That's why she was going so hard. Second Samuel 23. About verse 12. That's why she was going so hard, because they were crying for one so bad. So I let them split one. And boy, Lizzie was on the team. 1 Samuel 23 and 12.
2 Samuel?
Yeah, 2 Samuel 23 and 12. He said, but he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it and slew the Philistines, and Yah wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chiefs went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was in a hold, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. And 3 of the mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto Yah. And he said, be it far from me, O Yah, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of men that went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. What do you take from what just happened to them right now? So somebody got to do something with that static, man. That's ridiculous. What y'all take from that? Go ahead.
I feel like basically David, that we felt bad for whatever situation happened. He didn't want.
You sit back and look at it, right? He just made a thing, sitting back looking at, well, I want some water, right? I sure would want some water out of there. Those 3 men loved David enough to risk their life for him to get that water. But he turned around and looked at, Yah has worked a great victory for us this day. And though I've got liberty at this particular time, I'm not going to use that freedom for an occasion because my flesh desire water from this particular well. I will actually pour that out because I would rather serve them than them risk their life to get something that I want. You know what I'm saying? Because he done sat back, he done wrought a great victory against these people. He just smashed them. He could have used that freedom he just got from this victory to satisfy his flesh with that water. Because if you sit back and look at it, if you desiring water, is that a spiritual desire or is that a carnal desire? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not a bad thing. If you're thirsty, you're thirsty. But David considered, I'm not going to drink this water that these men risk their life to get from me. I'll pour it out and give it to the Most High before I drink it. You know what the average nigga would have did? I appreciate that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Guzzle it right on down. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't even sat back and thought that. I just was saying that. I didn't actually expect you to go do it. You know what I'm saying? But let's also go back to this here. Here, Revelation chapter 12. He said they haphazard their lives for this man. Said they were 3 mighty men. They were willing to risk their life for this man. $12 and 10. I guess we're just not going to get no satisfaction from that. He said, I heard a loud voice saying in Shamahim, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Mashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, who accused him before our Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Those men didn't even love, they loved David more than they loved their own life, to go risk their life to go get that man some water. You know what I'm saying? Because they looked at the opportunity, this is how much I love him. Which goes back to what? Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for friends. When you sit back and you look at, you getting freedom in the word, that don't give you occasion to satisfy your flesh. You know what I'm saying? When we turn around and we see that with our people coming out of the wilderness, they have been given liberty and they took that as an occasion to fulfill their lust. You know what I'm saying? I got about 3 situations in my head that I'm thinking about. What situations y'all think of after we came out of Egypt that the people looked for the first chance they could to satisfy the lust of their flesh?
Once Moses went up.
Golden calf was one thing I had in my mind. What you say, Cole? What you say? What did the people, look at Numbers chapter 11, let's look at the first thing the people say.
At least we have food.
That's what I'm finna tell you. That's what we finna look, but we finna look at, they asked for stuff specifically though. Numbers 11 and 4. Make it 1. You got to sit back and look at that. Just because you get, because we know what the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. He say the Son shall set you free. You know what I'm talking about? So now that you became free, there is no reason whatsoever that you're supposed to be taking your freedom in the Lord as an occasion to satisfy the lust of your flesh. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're supposed to be free. If you out of jail, why are you doing what you did when you was in jail? You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. You know the crazy part I used to see when some nigga go to jail? One nigga who I knew was messing with punks. Now you don't want to mess with punks no more. Now you out of jail. You just only do that when you locked up. You know what I'm saying? That don't make any sense. You know what I'm talking about? Hey man, hey, glad you stopped, but I don't believe you stopped. I just don't believe you just put that down. You know what I'm saying? You've been messing with men for 7 years, and all of a sudden now because you walked on the other side of a fence, you just gonna stop. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. You know what I'm talking about? But there's many things people do, they learn. Nigga, like I said, man, I tripped out when I seen niggas. How many of y'all ever heard of a square board? You know what that is?
Is that where they get in and fight?
No. In fact, you know what I'm talking about?
What?
A square board.
Square board.
A square board. Board. You know what I'm saying? I seen a nigga on the street doing this. I don't know if niggas did it on the street first or in prison, but this is what they do. They have a little board, right, with numbers on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like whatever the score is, and you got certain numbers. So if you watching a football game, right, and the score at the end of the first quarter is like 13-5. If you got that 3 and that 5, then you win some money. You know what I'm saying? Now I ain't never seen nobody do it on the street before. You know what I'm saying? Only time I ever seen it was when I was incarcerated. When I see niggas doing it on the street, I'm wondering, did you niggas, did it start out here? Or did you bring this from in here out there? You can make a lot of money doing it. You know what I'm saying? You can make a whole bunch of money doing it. I wouldn't do it because it reminded me of somewhere where I picked it up from. I didn't learn that out here. I seen that in there. But you make a lot of money from it though. Niggas getting ready, niggas did it last night. There were football games on last night. I guarantee you, somewhere in America, somebody did it. You know what I'm saying? But it's all type of stuff, man. Niggas be pulling. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas who come in and they get corrupt. It ain't no different. You get in the street, man. You get around certain people. I told you the other day, because you mentioned it and we looked at that the other day. He say, stay away from a furious man, lest you learn his ways and they be a snare to you. Remember how we sat back and looked at it? Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Every last, some of y'all sitting in the room right now think you can hang around sinners, be around them, and they will not affect your behavior. You think you can talk to them on a regular basis, have close dealings with them, and it's not going to affect your behavior. You lying to yourself. Because what happened to King Solomon? That's all you got to look at. That's all I'm going to say. King Solomon. And if any one of you niggas in here think you wiser than King Solomon, then I already know you got a first-class ticket for fire and worms. Because he was the wisest man to ever live, and sinners brought him down. So can't none of y'all say a sinner can't bring you down if you be too intertwined with him. I mean, you can talk to people, man. You could go see him, but I'm talking about, boy, you better make sure, if this the line, I can't go past it. Because them women, it said in 1 Kings chapter 11, them women turned his heart away from y'all. Now, how many of y'all think that couldn't happen to you? How many of y'all think you stronger than King Solomon? Say, that won't happen to me. When the Lord himself warned you, don't make no covenant with these people. You know what I'm talking about? Don't be fooled up with these people. Even in the book of Judges, he say, why have you done this thing by making an affinity with the people of the land? Why have you done it? When the people didn't want to stop fooling with him, he said, I'm going to leave him as snares and thorns in your side to see if you're going to keep my word or not. Some people y'all don't want to let go and start dealing with the Lord, keep them right there. So I'm going to see if you love me or you love them. I'm going to see if you're going to go to hell or not. That's what he leave them there for. You know what I'm saying? If you notice that there's certain people, man, that's an issue with you in the word, and the Lord starts severing them off. That's because he already know you love him more than you love them, so they'll no longer be there to be a thorn in your side. But if they still there, that's because the Lord is using that person to prove you. Because he got to know. You know what I'm saying? Who do you love? Do you love them or do you love me? Because what did the Lord tell you in the 14th chapter of the book of Luke? What did he tell you? Y'all know what he told you? Off the top of your head, what he told you? I said, Matthew told you in Luke, boy, he said you got to hate your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, even your own life also. He said if you can't be my disciple. That means can't nobody come before me. Because a lot of times we think that we can have people in our life and they won't come before the Lord. Then the Lord end up showing us how to be a liar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Every last person in this room got to have to cut somebody off and probably still got to cut more people off. It don't mean like I'll never talk to you again in life, but I can't fool with you like that. I'm telling you, man, sinners are like a disease. A real live, walking, living virus. You know what I'm talking about? That if you breathe it in too much and you touch on it too much, you'll get infected. And just like you thought you were finna come about that sickness you was in, you caught it again. And it's gonna be worse for you the second time around than it was the first time. So we have to look at that. Numbers 11:1. All we talking about is going from being in bondage to being free. We ain't trying to go from being bonded and free to going right back to being bonded again. Might as well stayed in jail. He said, when the people complained, it displeased Yah, and Yah heard it. And his anger was kindled, and the fire of Yah burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses, and when Moses prayed unto Yah, the fire was quenched. And the name of the place was Taberah, because of the fire of Yah burnt among them. You know that why right there? Because the people were complaining, he just went ahead and killed them. That's why Paul told you in Corinthians, don't be doing all that murmuring and complaining. Those people were took out to be an example unto you. so you would be admonished. You know what I'm saying? That's what black people number one problem is. They love to complain. They love to say how the Lord ain't moving when they wanted to move. I ain't got this, I ain't got that. That's why the Lord came back and told you a prophet is not without honor, save in his own house and among his own people. Because Moses was among his own household, amongst his own people, and all they did was talk trash. Complain. You know what I'm saying? All he did was use the liberty that the Lord allowed him to do by leading us up out of Egypt as an opportunity to serve his brethren. And all they took that liberty was as an opportunity to do was devour and bite him. That's all they took it for. Oh, Moses, you ain't do this. Moses, you ain't do that. You brought us out here to die, Moses. We ain't got no water. We ain't got no bread. We don't have this. We don't have that. That's why that man was hot all the time. Huh? Just like some niggas. Niggas ain't never satisfied. Ain't never happy. You know what I'm saying? You do this for them, now they want some more. And then when you did that, they ain't happy with that, now they want some more. And then when you did that, it's like, nigga, what more do you want? What more does anybody have to do? And the mixed multitude was among them fell a-lusting. And the children of Yasharel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely. And the cucumbers, and the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic, just like some niggas. We had pickles and watermelon. That's what they crying out for. We had fish, we had melons, we had pickles, we had garlic, we had onion, we had melon, honeydew melons, watermelons. You know what I'm saying? Say we ate it freely. That means we ate it at our heart's desire. Look what else he say. But now our soul is drying away. There is nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes. But look at the key question of what they asked. What did they ask? What did they ask? Now, why you think that would be important? These people ask, who gonna give us flesh to eat? Why would that be important? It's not just in there for no reason.
And sacrifice.
What you say?
It's sacrifice.
Hold it. That's right, Trey. Yes, sir. Absolutely. What you say, Gordon?
Sacrifice.
The sacrifice. The sacrifice of who though? Because what did he tell you? He said that the Torah, the instructions or the word was made what? Flesh. He said, my flesh is what? Meat indeed. You know what I'm saying? And then he said, look what he told. Let's look at John chapter 6. Let's look at what he told you would happen if you ate that flesh. (53) 6 and 53. See, they were sitting there looking for some. They wanted some. They sitting back looking at. We had some fish. Melon. All they were doing was complaining. They had freedom, but they took their freedom as an occasion for their flesh. You know what I'm saying? Because remember the key thing is saying they went a-lusting. So even though we free, we taking that freedom as a chance to still show I'm locked up. But you locked up to the shackles of the flesh and of the world. 53, 6th chapter of John. Then Yahushua said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. Whoso eat my flesh and drink my blood have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. My flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eat my flesh and drink my blood dwell in me, and I in him. As the living Father hath sent me, I live by the Father. So he that eat me, even he shall live by me. So don't you think if you ate this man, that means you would no longer be sensual, separate, not having the spirit, but you would be living by the Father, which would make you spiritual. Wouldn't you think? Because that's what we said. That's what he was telling these people. He said, y'all fathers ate manna in the wilderness, and they are dead. Because they were sensual. They didn't have the spirit. They were separated from y'all. See, come to Isaiah 59 and 1. Look what I'm talking about. We come back to Galatians 5 right after this. Let's look what he said in Isaiah 59 and 1. He said, behold, Yah's hand is not short that it cannot save, neither is ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. So that's how we sit back and we able to see how somebody is sensual, not having the spirit, being separated. Because it shows transgression, it shows unbelief, it shows disobedience, which separates that from you. Therefore, that's going to keep Yah separated from you. That's what kept the people separated from Yah and getting in the land, because they wanted bread. Then when they got tired of the man, we don't want that no more. Oh, we had fish. Oh, we had melons and cucumbers and leeks and garlic and onions. And then when they got tired of that, then they say, oh, we ain't got no water. Oh, how long we gonna keep walking around here? Oh, we ain't got this. Oh, we ain't got that. They forgot all about the hard bondage and the bitterness which they were made to serve.
And good shoes and good clothes.
You know what I'm saying? Not even just your clothes and shoes didn't get old, but the point what I'm talking about is they forgot all about that. See, come back to Exodus chapter 1 before we go to Leviticus. They forgot all about that. That comes on what we were looking at with the epistle you chose, the second chapter of the epistle of the Ephesians, where it said that they said we were under the elements of the world, we were the children of disobedience, and now we've been quickened together by Mashiach. We end up forgetting that if you coming out of the world, and coming into the grace of the Lord, into the places on high, then you would also remember where you came from and not want to return. You know what I'm saying? He remember what he said in Hebrews, if they had been mindful of the country they left off, they might have returned. Well, when we turn around, we were not mindful of what we came out of. All we was looking at it is hard right now. We forgot about everything what you dealt with while you were in Egypt. You forgot all about it. It's the same like this here. I've been to prison. He been to prison. Any of y'all ever been in the county jail in here? Now, when you got out the county jail, did you forget about anything that occurred in there? And fourth is like, I can't go back to that right now. How you feel about the little what you on yours?
This time.
You know what I'm saying? They say this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit back and tell you, I ain't forget about what a nigga experienced, but he was like, it's a simple fight. What you were trying to do or what you wanted to do was overpowering the fight. Well, you know you don't want nothing to do with this over here, man. You know what I'm saying? But then, like I said, after something, you hope after a period of time you catch one bid and it click. See, it's like with me, nigga ain't really never do that long. You know what I'm saying? So 30 days, you ain't sweating that. You know you don't want to be in here. But boy, once you go in here, they put you on that bus and they send you up that highway. And then you got to go in here and stand in the line with butt naked men and put your head on the bench and spread your butthole open. Then you know right then and there, I will never do this again. You know what I'm saying? See, they don't do that to you in the county. I'm talking about that's dead serious. And if you don't want to do that, you going to get beat.
So you going to do it.
So you going to do it. Because I'm talking about, like, that's dead serious, man. They take you off that bus, they make everybody get butt naked, and you got a whole bunch of men standing in the line, butt naked, about this far away from each other. And then after that, they got a little bit, I don't know if they do this at every reception center, but I know they do it at Lake Butler. Then they want you to put your head, forehead, on the bench, knees on the bench, and spread your behind open as they walk past and look at your record. You know what I'm saying? That's humiliation that you can't even fathom unless you experience it. So as soon as you begin that you got to do this, it's already clicking in my mind, I can never do this again. Never. You know what I'm saying? Never. And you got niggas who done been to prison 4, 5 times. So you mean to tell me you experienced that? They telling you, yeah, boy, they gonna make you put your head on the, and you keep coming back here to do that. I ain't talking about that means that somebody's a homosexual or nothing. Just the fact of that level of humiliation didn't set in your mind that you never wanted to experience that again in life. You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to experience that again in life. You getting ready to get transferred to another facility. Whole bunch of men in a circle, butt naked, because they finna strip search you all at one time. You got to squat and cough and do all that type of stuff. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm finna experience this ever again. You know what I'm saying? I would rather be broke and hungry and sleep under an I-95 underpass before I subject myself to that again. Because if that is any inkling what our ancestors went through after they came off of them slave ships, there's no way in the world I'm going to do that again. Because I know that's a small taste of what they experienced, and what they experienced was 1,000 times worse. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 times worse. That's when they clicked in my mind when I was going through that. I say, boy, with the mind I got right now, I know they would have killed me before they got me on the boat or once they got me over here. Or I'd have been one of them dudes who jumped off the boat. You know what I'm saying? Because that is if you ain't never experienced it, man, ain't even no way to describe it, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. Man, that's something I ain't seen. I told you, they don't do that to you in the county. So them little 24 days they did in the county, little 6 months, you know what I'm saying, 2 weeks, that don't really hit your mind like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Nigga like, well, I know I don't want to go on the road, I don't want to come in the county, but boy, I got to get this money, so it don't have that profound effect on your brain. You know what I'm saying? But boy, after that level of humiliation, I will never experience that again in life. You know what I'm saying? Grown man walk up and slap another man and you can't hit him in his mouth. This man feel like he can just walk up to you and slap you. They boasting about how they kill you. Oh no, I can't be in here. I can't be in here. I can't keep doing this. And I'm just looking at niggas with C letters and D letters and H letters and I letters, and you keep coming back to do this? No, I can't come back here to do it. I can't do it. To each his own. I'm not going to do it. 1 in 13 of Exodus. I can't do it. That's when we sit back looking at it. Just like you said this time. See, we don't want to sit back and look at it on this here with our souls right now. That way you got to keep coming up out of stuff, and this time you going to get it. You know what I'm talking about? Because you don't know the Lord could have been cut you off by that. I'm talking about the literal cut off, like kill you. You know what I'm saying? Not just severing you off from him, but take you out. You know what I'm saying? So we got to sit back and look at when we get the opportunity to be made free, we should use that freedom as an opportunity to occasion for our flesh. Because just like what we talking about, nigga, get out of jail, get out of prison, you free, and the first thing you looking to do is please your flesh. Where the liquor at, where the weed at, where the women at, I want to go to the club, I want to do this. You didn't take the opportunity to look at, you've been made free. Do something with your freedom. You take that freedom as an opportunity to please your desires. You know what I'm saying? So now we had to turn around and look at it. It's the same way with us dealing with the word. You get that freedom in the word, don't use that as an occasion to fulfill your carnal desires. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going to end up happening? You're going to fall back and you're going to end up right back in the spot that you were in. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be worse. And the Egyptians made the children of Yasharal to serve with rigor. They made their lives bitter with hard bondage and mortar and in brick and all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they were made them to serve was with rigor. Now we didn't look at last week, right, Leviticus, about don't rule over your brethren with rigor. But see, now we turn around and let's look at Satan. Let's look at Hebrews 2 and 14 before we go back there. Because now we sit back looking at, we can look at Pharaoh as a similitude of the devil. Because he had us in bondage, and then he made us to serve hard with rigor. You know what I'm talking about? After we look at Hebrews 2 and make it 12, Hebrews 2 and 12, make it 2 and 11, we'll look at Romans 6 and about verse 7. To bring this point, that's what I'm talking about, man. I thank the Lord for the word, because I have no idea where I would be at or what I would be doing without it. Don't know where my mentality would be. I've been out of prison 6+ years now. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. I'm talking about ain't came close to going back to prison. Ain't came close to sitting in the back seat of a police car. But without the word, who's to say? Because I wasn't thinking about, because guess what happens, man? If you've been used to doing for yourself for a period of time and you be broke for an extended period of time, you're going to end up falling back doing what you know how to do to get you some money. As that nigga say, man, you know what I'm saying, if things always go bad, there was always Cain. You could always sit back and prove, I can sell these rocks though. I can sell this weed though. I can sell these pills though. I can sell this though. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up right back in that same rat race and trap that you started in, and then you end up being in a worse position because you sat back and you looked at, I don't have this, I don't have that, and you let that dictate your decision making. That's how a lot of our people go down. That's why I be telling a lot of brothers go to jail and get killed because they weren't able to make money in a particular fashion, and they were only out there as a means of, I need to do something for myself. I just can't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So niggas go pick up that rocks, they go pick up that pistol, they go pick up that cocaine, they go pick up whatever narcotic it is to do that. These people know that. That's why I be telling you, man, and We was always like this when we were younger, to have a mind to want to create something for yourself. There's nothing worse than having to go to your slave master and ask him for a job, knowing that 9 times out of 10, he don't want to give you one. If you fall in certain parameters. You know what I'm saying? That don't necessarily mean because you got certain things against you, they wouldn't do it. But there's nothing worse than doing that. Because when you look at the other races, Asian people can go to their own people in a lot of their own communities and get a job from them. You know what I'm saying? So-called Jewish people can go to their own people in their communities and get a job from them. Even African people come over here and do the same thing. Arabs do the same thing. We don't do that. We go to the white man for it. And then be shocked when he don't want to give us one. Because we ain't never had that thought process of we could just do it ourselves. That's the only thing the Nation of Islam was ever good for. Because they promoted that in the late 50s and early 60s about doing that. Other than that, they ain't served no purpose. You know what I'm saying? That would actually hit these people harder than any protesting, any meme, any petition would ever would do, is if you take your money and you use it and you insulate it amongst yourselves and don't break bread with them. You sit back and look at what all these niggas do. Them niggas who own FUBU, they sell it. They get to a certain point, they sell it to them Caucasians. Just like Russell Simmons did with Def Jam, and Jay-Z did with Rockefeller, and he sold Rockawell, and you know what I'm saying? Same thing Robert Johnson did with BET. You own these entities which got all this power, all these things that you could use for the benefit of your people on a mass scale. But what do? You give it to your oppressor, and then your people are cut out all the way around. Because now your oppressor can dictate who you hire, who gets hired. You know what I'm saying? A black man might have a little bit more leniency or compassion on another black man if he sees certain things he's been through and he trying to do it, give him a shot. Versus what a Caucasian would. Why would that Caucasian have that same amount of compassion for that black man versus one of his own kind? I wouldn't expect him to. You can sit back and you see white people, they see one of their own people had got in a certain position and they come up for a job, they might be more lenient to help them because that's natural instinct to help your own. You know what I'm saying? You think white people wrong for doing that for their own people? You think Asian people wrong for doing that for their own people? They not wrong. Me and Fatboy had that conversation a long time ago. Do you think Bill Gates will sell you one of you niggas Microsoft if you had the money for it? You think the Ford family gonna sell you Ford Motor Company? You think they gonna do that? You think Ralph Lauren gonna sell you his company? But what a nigga turn around and do? Sell Fat Farm to them. Sell Sean John to them. That's got to be the dumbest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that, man. It's just for them, it's more prestige if I get this money from these Caucasians and then they give me a little percentage of the sales after they think they done something because they done quote unquote wrote you this big old check. Just like I tell you, man, you can hear a deal, oh, they got a $250 million deal. Well, if you already know about federal taxes, you might as well go ahead and get ready to cut that in half. Because now that's 125. Half that's gone. You know what I'm saying? And then depending on what state they in, you could probably get ready to knock another 3-4 quarters off of that. You know what I'm talking about? And then depending on what city they in, you can get ready to knock some more money off of that. So when you actually hear about a $225, $250 million deal, by the time it get to the person who made it, that nigga might have 90. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how much money they gonna take. But see, they don't tell you that. They just tell you, just like they tell you about them contracts them football players make. They got this money. They don't tell you them contracts ain't guaranteed. They don't tell you that only a small percentage of it is. They don't never tell you about taxes. Like they said, what you told me, say you don't even want them to put that on your pay stub no more. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine if you was in that high tax bracket and they literally taking half. Imagine if you were making 10 million and you really only get 5. You know what I'm saying? I'd be hot about that. You mean to tell me you taking half? What you need, and y'all screaming about, somebody had the breakdown but about how much people actually pay for welfare and food stamp. It's nowhere near what they pay, what you pay in taxes for corporate subsidies. You know what I'm saying? They turn around, they tax the brains out of you. See, that's how they allow their homeboys to get their money back. You know what I'm saying? That's in that high tax bracket. They got all this stuff set up so their homeboys can get their money back. They'll never tell you about it though. You know what I'm saying? They'll never tell you about it. I know they said Scottie Pippen did the same thing, got all them farm subsidies. He just had enough sense. You think they like that? That's how they play the game. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that mind of, Let's just do it ourselves. Everybody loved to scream what FUBU meant, but ain't nobody really want to execute that, because they didn't even execute it. Because now you see that nigga on Shark Tank with a whole bunch of white folk. You know what I'm saying? Now what you see in Mad Nato, that black dude on there, that's the dude that helped create FUBU. Now you can't find FUBU nowhere. I ain't seen it in years. I think the last place I seen a pair of shoes of it in City Trend. That's a long fall though, ain't it? Cause that thing, boy, about 10, 12 years ago, boy, that and Carl Kanai was the, I'm talking about, that's what it was. Some of y'all don't even know who Carl Kanai is. Who in here know who that is? I know Lank know. I know Fat Boy know. I know anybody over the age of, I know anybody who over the age of 30 know who that is. Y'all don't know who Carl Kanai is. That was a black designer, man. His clothes was known because he had that big old heavy tag. You know what I'm talking about right here that said Carl Kanai. Black owned. You know what I'm saying? And one of the reasons why you know that man's stuff gone, because 9 times out of 10 he ain't get down with them people. That man had the same thing with Maurice Malone. That was a black owned clothing designer. They gone. They gone. They got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? I forgot, I lost my page. Wow. Oh, Hebrews 2 and 11. Little Mike, don't nobody believe you. He said, for both he that sanctified and they who are sanctified are all of one, for which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren, in the midst of the body will I sing praise unto thee. And again I will put my trust in him, and again, behold, I and the children which the Most High hath given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. Now how can we go back and look at the law to put that together? He say through death he might destroy him that had power over death. Where do you think we could see an actual thing where we could see that? That through death, one who had power over death was destroyed. Huh?
The death of the firstborn.
The death of the firstborn. The death of the firstborn. Going back, let's go back and let's look at what they did. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 2 and let's look at what they did. Stanky. Exodus chapter 2. Oh, sorry, Exodus chapter 1. And about verse 16. Make it 15, pardon. 1 and 15. After we look at Exodus 1 and 15, we'll go to Exodus chapter 12. And about verse 27. He said, and the king of Mizraim spake to the Hebrew midwives, which of the name of one was Shipporah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. So their whole objective is they wanted to take us out. You know what I'm saying? And now you got to remember what happened with Moses. Moses was supposed to have been one of them killed, but he got hid. You know what I'm saying? It's the same similitude of a Mashiach now, because he's supposed to have been killed and he got hid. Because he had to come through with death to destroy death. So now let's go back to Exodus chapter 12 and about verse 27. Make it 26. Or 25 even better. It shall come to pass when you be come to the land which Yahweh will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. That ye shall say it is the sacrifice of Yah's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharal and Mizraim, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses, and bowed the head, and the people bowed the head and worshiped. And the children of Yasharal went away and did as Yahuwah had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight, Yahuwah smote all the firstborn of the land of Mizraim, for the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up and get ye forth from amongst my people, both you and the children of Yasharal, and go serve Yahuwah as ye have said. So through death, he delivered them who was over. Because he sat back and realized, if you know that they were killing the firstborn sons at that time, if you know they were doing that, you don't think they were killing our people like they do over here now? You don't think they were murdering people? Because if they bold enough to say kill babies, you know full well the people were bold enough to kill grown men. You know what I'm talking about? So that's why this man, he said he had to take part of flesh and blood to destroy him that had power over death, to deliver them who were always in bondage to it. We were always in bondage to these people. You know what I'm talking about? But while we were in bondage to these people and we got that freedom, we took that as an occasion to satisfy our flesh. We forgot about it. We forgot about the hard bondage that we served. We forgot about it. It fell right out of our mind. You know what I'm saying? Fell right out of our mind. We just forgot what the man did. It's amazing how we can sit back and see how this whole book tied together. It's all the same word. And the whole premise of what we sit back looking at is, we cried for flesh to eat. We cried for water. We cried for, it was better for us to go back than to be walking through here, man. We might as well went back. Where are we going? When we gonna get there? All that complaining, and we forgot all about the rigor which they caused us to serve with. We forgot all about the hard bondage. We forgot all about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you can sit back, and that's how we sit back when we deal with this word. You forget about all the pain, all the stuff that, all the sinning, and all the contrary living, and all the stuff you did before the knowledge of Yeshua HaMashiach appeared to you. When you start dealing with that came, and then you're like, okay, I'm free now, I can get an opportunity to do this here. And then after a period of time, you go to complaining, and you go to forgetting about all that bondage you was under before he came and freed you from it. You forgot all about it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. That's why he tell you that those stuff are written for an example and an admonishment. You know what I'm saying? Because we forget about these things. If we're going to be made perfect, we can't forget about these things. Romans chapter 6, about verse 7. That's why Mashiach say, come unto me, all ye that labor, and I will give ye rest. You know what I'm saying? He said, all you that are heavy laden, because of the bondage of the oppressor. Pharaoh was the oppressor, and he had the people in bondage, and they were sighing and crying because of it. A lot of y'all was around here saying you prayed and cried for all the stuff you were dealing with when you was in bondage to the elements of the world and your flesh, and then you get set free and you still do the same stuff. Literally, what type of sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? And like I was telling y'all last night, man, being a man is easier. You know what I'm saying? I know for y'all women it's harder. Being a man is easier to separate your emotions. You know what I'm saying? But so some of y'all emotions are the number one thing that keep you in bondage to your flesh, where you can't separate from it because your emotions are still dictating what you're doing. That man say those that are the Lord's have killed those. You know what I'm saying? That means just like how Lauren Hill put it on the song, she said everything was nailed on the tree. So that means everything that you got going on got to be nailed to the tree. That's why he told you, we looked at that last week, right? Go ahead and cut you down a beam, take that with you. You know what I'm saying? Or what we looked at with the king Amalek, say, man, cut down your bow, and what you see me do, you do. You know what I'm saying? Take up your cross and follow me. He that suffer in the flesh, so cease from sin. Arm yourself likewise with the same mind, because that's the same mind the Lord had. Which is still going again what we talked about last night, about my thoughts are not like your thoughts, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. Because Mashiach had that same mind, because the Father, there's no sin with him. You know what I'm talking about? Brother was telling me the other day that dude told him, I told you that before, he said, Yah's not subject to his own law. That he'll sin. You know what I'm saying? But how he gonna sin if his law is his thoughts and his ways, and his thoughts and ways are higher than yours? and his son got his mind, how you not going to have that same mind the way you wouldn't sin, the way you wouldn't have emotion, the way you have emotion but not moved by it. The Lord had emotion when he was in the flesh, but he said he was in the flesh, coupled with the same infirmities like as we are, yet without sin. Because the flesh will cause you to look at things in the wrong fashion and make the wrong decisions and do the wrong thing, because the flesh do what feels good. You know what I'm saying? The spirit resisted the flesh. The flesh resisted the spirit. They war one to another. So that means you have to pick one. That's the hard, people don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? And we done told y'all before, man, and spoke before, man. And some of y'all being in them Christian churches, you know, anybody can do it. Because you don't got to do nothing. Just like y'all finding out, we're working out on a regular basis. Anybody can't come in that gym talking about I'm finna squat such and such amount of weight. Anybody can't come in that gym and say I'm finna bench press such and such amount of weight. Anybody can't come in that gym and say I'm finna do 3-4 pull-ups. You know what I'm saying? Ain't anybody can do that. Anybody can do it, but they got to have the wherewithal and the mental fortitude to be willing to do what's necessary to get to that point and say, I can bench press 300 pounds. I can squat 400 pounds. I can deadlift 350. I can do 15 pull-ups like it's nobody's business. But don't nobody want to go in there and do that. It's the same, I'm telling you, everybody want a nice body, but don't nobody want to have the discipline required to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have to eat a particular way, you're gonna have to work out a particular way, you're gonna have to do certain things. It's easier to eat cookies, cakes, donuts, and French fries and hamburgers. It's easier to do that. Huh? They all tasty. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows processed goodies taste great. You know what I'm saying?
Vegan goodies are nice.
Come on, man. You know he had to throw it in there. I ain't gonna tell you no lie though. Them vegan, but guess what? A lot of that stuff they put in it, that sweet theory, is gonna get you fat just the same. You know what I'm saying? It might be vegan, but it's still a whole bunch of sugar and calories. Still gonna get fat all the same. Just because see, that's how they get a nigga. It's vegan. That means it's healthy. It can still be bad for you too. Just because they ain't put no animal products in it, don't necessarily mean it's good for you. I guarantee you, them cinnamon rolls, that sweet theory, I bet they get you fat. You eat them every day. You know what I'm saying? And they are outstanding. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I like it. If somebody walked up and told you that was a vegan cinnamon roll, you'd be like, I'd have never knew. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you put some eggs and some type of stuff in this here. But guess what? All that glaze and all that stuff they got on that thing, man, that stuff give you diabetes just the same. Still sugar. You know what I'm saying? But it's the thing of what I'm saying is like I say that's why, because see, I was talking to the girl that I trained about this here, because she said she noticed that. She never really go to church growing up. She noticed that. Anybody can come, because anybody can do it. All you got to do is have good attendance.
One size fits.
That's all you got to do is just show up. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Don't make no difference to choir director like it in the booty. You know what I'm talking about? It don't make no difference to pastor sleeping with 15 women. It don't make no business that the deacon always taking an extra $30 out the plate when it comes out. Ain't nobody noticed that nigga just pulled him a 50 out that thing. And then they pass it again, and he acting like he put something in there, and he snatched another one. Ain't nobody gonna mention that all the women on the so-called motherboard, all of them drunks. You know what I'm talking about? Cuss you, slap out. Like this here, don't be cussing like that in my house. You blank up, you be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Where that come from? That means, guess what? Anybody can do it. You know what I'm talking about? But when you look at the way of y'all, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, man, you got to walk through that King's Highway. Everybody can't do that because they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all been told, some of your people and some of your friends, man, yeah, do this here. And they might be excited about it when they find out, oh, we Israel, and all that type of stuff, till they find out what you got to do. Some of y'all done went and applied for jobs, and you like, well, I want to work there until you find out what you had to do. I think I'm going to fill in for another position. I told my homeboys, you been to Ron, went to UPS when we were young. That nigga say, boy, when them white folks clapped up the back of that truck and said he had to unload it, and they say he turned right back around, clocked out, and went home. Straight up, this like 97. You know what I'm saying? That nigga say, shoot, boy, I went home. Because when he sat back and he looked at what they wanted him to do versus what they were going to pay him, he wasn't willing to do it. He wasn't willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all done went and seen about a job, you be like, you know what, versus what you paying and what you want me to do, I'm just not willing to do that. I'm just not willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not willing to do it. But if it was a job where you wanted to do, or you seen an opportunity of advancement, and you seen what they were telling you to do, you looked at that as like, you know what? I think I might be able to swing that. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to swing. I think I can make something happen, man. Because how many of y'all, somebody came and asked you, you want to work at my funeral home? How many of y'all think you'll be willing to do it?
How much you paying?
Huh?
How much you paying?
What you say, Lord?
How much they paying?
How much they paying? No matter how much they paying, would you be willing to work now? Everything they do in the funeral home, I don't know what they doing now. I ain't tell you no lie. I ain't going to them. You know what I'm saying? For no other reason, because I ain't willing to be around dead bodies. That's just me though. I ain't tell you no lie. When me and Dale went in that mortuary, when she was at that funeral home by that stuff there, man, I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait in the car. Come in here with me, man. I don't even want to come in here. Like straight up, I ain't worried about no bodies jumping out. Man, this place just give me the creeps. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you gotta work the night shift too.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga like to see you working that night stuff go to moving. Boy, I know I ain't not supposed to be moving in here. I'm the only nigga in here.
And I'm only working day shift.
You know what I'm talking about? Man, that nigga took us in the back to one little room to show you what the caskets look like. I said, well, I hope ain't no bodies back here. Now I'm sitting there thinking to myself, where are the rooms at where they keep the bodies? Every time this nigga taking her to a room, I'm wondering, is this nigga will open a room where a dead body? Because if I see one, I'm gone. Because I want to know, nigga, what you just got miscellaneous bodies in here for? What you in here doing? Remember, we went to school with a nigga word, that nigga say he steal all them people's stuff. Nigga say I steal their watches, their rings. I'm like, nigga, I ain't even touching it. They can keep it. Boy, if that nigga had a Rolex with some diamonds on the bezel, boy, before I get it, somebody else got to take it, because I ain't touching that nigga.
Check for the organs.
Man, I'm not touching nothing. That nigga, that's crazy, boy. I ain't touching no dead bodies.
I'm saying that's what people do now, though. Like, hey, somebody died, okay, bring them here, we'll get their organs out, get them right.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, that's why I tell you right now, boy. That's why y'all think, boy, I had to get them people take it off of mine, boy. You don't have that organ donor on your card. See, when I was young, I had organ donor on there because I called myself being funny. Cause all that weed I was smoking, I said, yeah, y'all ain't gonna want mine. They gonna be ruined. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't tell nobody say you want to be an organ donor. I'm like, yeah, cause I call myself being funny. I die on these streets. Well, y'all open me up, the bastard. Nigga, heart bad, lungs bad, kidneys bad. We can't do nothing with this nigga stuff. Boy, these niggas body snatching. Boy, I tell them, you can take that off of mine. You know what I'm saying? I went and got a duplicate license on Wednesday. They say, you still want to be an organ donor? Absolutely not.
Oh no.
I know what I'm talking about. I forgot about it. I had forgot about it the last time when I went and got it. I ain't forgetting that time. Oh, take that off. Take that off. You ain't finna be around here when I, because see, if you an organ donor, they not gonna be as quick to want to save your life. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be willing to let you die so they can harvest your organs. You know what I'm talking about? Don't think these people ain't crazy now for shoot, boy. These people kidnap people and take niggas' kidneys while they living.
2,500 black people go missing every year.
Oh, we already know. They body snatching. And if they ain't body snatching, they kidnapping them kids to do it. I ain't even want to talk about that. Romans chapter said, I don't even want to talk about this. Them little kids, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm for real though, man. Nigga, that's probably what they had Jeffrey Dahmer around there doing, trying to lie, say he was cannibal. Probably had that white man around here killing all them niggas, take their body part. Six and 7. Make it 6. 6 and 6. Romans 6 and 6. He say, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. You should see that what we looking at coming out of Egypt. They were destroyed, that we would henceforth not serve. What did he say? Let my people go. That, Exodus chapter 6. Let my people go that they might serve me in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? I thank the Lord for the word. Little Maya, chill out, little homie. Your mama gonna beat you. Then I'm gonna laugh at you. Make it that 5 and 1. Exodus 5 and 1. I'm gonna laugh at you, little buddy. All right, listen. Go ahead and fart then. Yeah, I know it was a joke. But you know what I'm saying? You know you still throw that out there. Yeah, I know it was a chair, but you know, Lizzie does have the propensity to go ahead and just break in like it's nothing. Look how she's looking right now. That's how it happens to you, little Mike. That's how it happens to you. He said, afterward Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus saith Yahuwah, Elohim and Yasharal, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, who is Yahuwah that I should obey his voice to let Yasharal go? I know not Yahuwah, neither will I yet Yasharal go. He said, I don't know him, right? So I ain't going to let him go. Hold on, look at John chapter 8, about verse 42. He said, I don't know him. He said, I don't know him, so I ain't going to let him go. We know what did the Apostle John tell us in his epistle about knowing the Most High? What he said you had to do? He said you had to follow them commandments. So that's why Pharaoh turned around and said, I don't know no Yah. I don't know no Yahuwah. I don't know who that is. Because I don't follow him. I don't obey him. I follow Ra. I like Horus. He like lettuce and men. You know what I'm saying? I follow Osiris and Isis. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I was tripping, boy. You know that nigga, the niggas who be running them old New York niggas and Egypt niggas that run with, say that nigga polite. Boy, they put a nigga up there, man. That nigga was a mason. Boy, they had that nigga with the full mason outfit on. I'm talking about the top hat, the gloves, and all. They said they got mad at him. They said they exposed him because he said something about Rabbi Wentworth Matthews because he was a mason. You know what I'm talking about? Because he was supposed to be one of the first people that started the Israelite congregation in New York City. Nigga, I don't care if he knew he was an Israelite, he a Mason, he a devil worshiper, as far as I'm concerned. He was a sinner. How would I even stamp that? Because he know he is. Yeah, that nigga had the top hat on, the gloves. Boy, they be killing this nigga polite back, because when they take the nigga hat off, the nigga line is like way back here. Like the nigga, y'all know how RoboCop looked when they took the thing off. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You ain't never seen RoboCop. You seen RoboCop? You ain't seen no RoboCop, nigga. You seen RoboCop? Right there. That's how you look, though. That nigga say, what a nigga say, what nigga put the picture of RoboCop and the picture of that nigga next to it. Woo! Man, this nigga was riding through in a drop top car, man. With no hat on. Looking like RoboCop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, that nigga got to keep a hat on. Thank the Lord he don't follow the word, because that nigga ain't never going to be able to pray. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about, I would never take that off. Or you just got to go ahead and just cut it all the way off, boy. Because it's like his hair is running, you know how niggas say your hair running away from your face? That's how his stuff look for real. You know what I'm talking about? Like all this is empty and it's just hair starting here all the way around. But all this right here straight landing strip. You got the little cap on? I said, boy, this nigga here good ball. Man, that nigga had the nerve to, after he done did a debate and got $50,000, $60,000 from niggas, sitting there with no hat on, counting the money, talking about how he balled. But he said, you balling, nigga, then you need to go see Hair Club for Men, go see somebody, because this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I might have to find one of them pictures after the Sabbath, man, show you this nigga, man. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, you see that nigga without that dome, with that dome by. They say, boy, I don't respect no knowledge or information you bring in, period, sir, till you do something with that hairline. The same way with that nigga Shaka Akbo coming around here with blouses on. Not no blouse on. Not only with a blouse on, capris, with a weave ponytail. Nigga say a whole head, bald head, with one long weave ponytail, a blouse on, and a nigga be wearing flats. You know what I'm talking about? That's what Egypt do to you though. You know what I'm saying? You remember what I told you the other day on Wednesday, boy, he told you what not to do to Egypt. Don't go back that way. You know what I'm saying? See, don't go back around there. See, they went back around there. That's why they rump rangers now. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You mess with Egypt, that's what happens. I'm telling you, they gods will get what you think gonna happen. That's what I'm sitting there telling you. If your God is set apart, is righteous, is without iniquity, you know what I'm talking about? Is good, is compassionate, exercises justice and judgment, don't you think that you should be an exact emulation of those same attributes? Well, they gods are homosexual. You know what I'm talking about? They idolatrous, they money hungry, they whoremongers. You know what I'm talking about? They eat all manner of animals. These people eat rhinoceros. You know what I'm saying? They got the nerve to say something to us. You niggas eat rhinoceros butt, literally. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I seen that. That's ridiculous. Niggas eat rhinoceros. Like of all animals to eat, why would you eat a rhinoceros? What would the meat taste like? I told you that nigga in Chicago said, yeah, man, you can eat a giraffe, he eat grass, he cloven-footed and part of the hoof. I'm a pass, sir. You what I'm saying? Okay, great, it's lawful. You eat it. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? It might be. I'll never find out. That don't even look like something like this here, boy. I sure would like some giraffe neck. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they ain't got a giraffe to feed the family.
What?
Yeah, you sure could. I'm good though. I can't go nowhere and see none of my ancestors, none of my forefathers talking about, boy, let's eat some giraffe. We want some giraffe chops tonight.
It doesn't happen.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we was still over there, ain't eating nan tap bud. You ain't never heard about no Yahudi talking about, boy, look here, boy. I'm finna hunt that giraffe. I'm finna chew him, boy. That nigga looking good. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like you say, why we always be tripping on the air. They got a nerve to say something about us eating camelback. You know what I'm saying? And God knows what else they eat. Them niggas eat swine too, though. Why they be playing that game? Because if you sell swine, nigga, I know you eat it. You know what I'm talking about? That's why they stores be smelling like that. They ain't got no room to talk. Be around here selling them outdated snacks they be trying to sell them, nigga. Nigga coming in the thing, 2 months. They say it's post-dated, sir. It's October.
Let me see.
You know what I'm saying? This thing from July. It's still good. It's still good. It ain't still good, nigga. It's stale. These cheese puffs, they supposed to crack. Nigga, he sit here, man. Nigga bite the Snicker bar. What is this green stuff in here, sir? You know what I'm saying? The only thing they swap out is the beverages. You know what I'm saying? Everything else in there, the Debbie cakes, eat at your own risk. You know what I'm talking about? I'm telling you, boy. I'm telling you. Y'all don't know. You know, they shut down a few Arab stores around here about 4 or 5 years ago because of that, because they were selling old stuff. You know what I'm saying? What do you think?
Change the date on the bag. That's easy.
Then you bring it up there to them, they'll take it.
All you do is wipe some oil on, and put a stamp on it.
Yeah, you know what's the best way to get all around that there? I ain't gonna shop with your nasty behind. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna shop with your nasty behind. Not only, and you look at it this way, this stuff killing me anyway, then it's stale, so hey man, you eat it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you eat when you get to the house, you eat them stale cakes, bastard. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you like this here though, you notice them Arabs ain't got stoves nowhere else but where you stay or where poor white people stay. You know what I'm saying? They know what they doing. They prey on the poor because they know most of them areas where these poor people stay at, they don't have that immediate access to no grocery store.
Food deserts.
You know what I'm saying? So niggas slide in there, they get their little vittles and snacks, and they be coming up. That's why they be quick to say, yeah, we take EBT. They, all this here, man. Come on here.
It's called a food store, but ain't no real food in there.
No way. Y'all talking about, they were just talking about this a couple years ago, how it ain't no grocery store nowhere on King Road. You know what I'm saying? By EWC for these people to eat at. And they had a black one that was over there and then people tried to shut him down. You know what I'm talking about? Because it ain't nowhere. If you ain't got nowhere you want something to eat and the nearest grocery store is 30, 40, 50 minutes away. You know what I'm talking about? Then what you going to end up doing? You're going to go to the corner store. You're going to come out there with this juice that's staining your intestines. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to buy these cakes that's full of sugar and diabetes. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to buy these chips, and then when you wonder why so many black people are obese and they blood pressure bad and they got diabetes, because we fall right into the trap. Because if we go out here to Ponte Vedra, and we go out here to Argyle Ford, and we go out here to certain spots in Mandra, you're not going to find that. You know them Arab corner stores, the only place you see them in Mandra? On Sunbeam. You know what I'm talking about? Where the black people at? You know what I'm saying? You go on Old St. Augustine Road and start going toward Bartram Trail, you're not going to find none of them stores like that. Yeah. They got deli sandwiches, fruit. Yeah, this whole type of old Arab stores around here sell fried chicken. They trying to kick you. Ain't lying though, because guess what? That gate that's across the street from the Bailey's on San Jose, sell all that stuff in there. I get what? That gate over there on Townsend don't sell none of that stuff. That's it. That's it. They don't sell none of that stuff. Because you niggas don't eat it. I just seen they open the U-Fit over there in Gateway. That's like the only gym on the north side besides the Bailey's on Dunn. You know what I'm saying? It's gyms all over the south side, all over the west side. Because the white folks over there, we don't want you niggas to get fit. We want you niggas to eat Mary Ann fried chicken. We want you to go to chicken cook.
Go to the health industry.
Yeah, I would. She just came.
I was over
back.
You just was over there.
Yeah, they closed that.
You know what I'm saying? But it's the point of it though. We want you to go to Jenkins.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't go. They say it's roaches in them. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, nigga, a rat came out, nigga. I seen a rat. A nigga opened the door. A rat ran out with the customer. Like, dang, what you doing?
Say he ordered some ribs. He ain't like it.
Is that my friend?
I'm just sitting the point of when we sit back and look at it though, that's still causing us to serve hard bondage and rigor, just in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what they're doing. Because you end up getting sick. And then when you end up getting sick, now you in bondage to the pharmaceutical company because now they want to give you these old nasty drugs that do more harm than good. And now you locked in with them and you constantly going through their healthcare facilities trying to correct this sickness or this illness, which they're not trying to treat. They're just trying to placate so you can keep coming back and spending with them.
Maintain.
You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to cure you. Just trying to get paid off. John 8:42. We still holding Galatians chapter 5. Get back to it. I mean, you sit back and look at it, man. Every aspect of this society is to keep you in bondage. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling y'all, when you come up out of the world and you come up out the ways and the thinkings of the world, you can't use that as an occasion to fulfill your flesh. You know, we looked at that a couple weeks ago when we looked at them coming on that King's Highway and they said, we don't want your wells, we don't want your vineyards, just let us go past, because we free now, don't want none you got. He said, Yahushua said unto them, if Elohim were your father, you would love me. For I proceed forth and came from Elohim, neither came of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you do not understand my word. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. We turn around and look at Pharaoh. Wouldn't you be able to say he was a murderer since he gave an order to kill none but babies? Since he just said, I don't know no Yahuwah, I don't know no Yah, that means you don't abide in the truth, so therefore it can't be in you. Because when we turn around and look at Satan, look at the devil, he don't know Yah. How could he? Let's look at 1 John 2 and 3. Kids listen. Come here, Tizzy Lizzie. Come here, Lizzie. You like that chair, don't you, Lizzie? Tell T, give you a snipe. So I know you got something. Lizzie like that chair? 1 John 2 and 3. Hereby we do know him. We do know that we know him, if we keep his commandment. So that's only right that Pharaoh would say, man, I don't know this dude who you talking about. I don't know him. He that saith I know him and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So we see Pharaoh told the truth. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? But whoso keep his word, in him truly is the love of the Most High perfected. Hereby we know that we are in him. He that saith he abide in him ought himself also to walk even as he walked. Because when we look at it, Mashiach was free. The love of Yah was perfected in him because he believed and obeyed. What we looked at last night, right? My strength is my strength in stones. You know what I'm saying? What is my hope? What is my end that I will prolong my days? You know what I'm saying? That's why that was the utmost confidence and faith that the Son had in the Father, that the Father would do everything that he told him he would do, to give him everything that he told him he would give. The same type of faith we seen our father Abraham manifest. When you have that same type of faith and you have that same type of confidence in Yah, there's no way you could be in bondage to the elements of the world. There's no way you would go back and use your freedom as an opportunity to fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because we see Abraham did not do that. When he told him to get up from amongst your brethren and do this here, he did not use that freedom that he received as a means to fulfill the desires of his flesh. Neither did Isaac, neither did Jacob. They didn't do that. You know what I'm talking about? Even when you look at Joseph, he didn't do it. When he got out of that cell, he did not use that as an opportunity for the occasion of the flesh. He used it as an opportunity to do the will of Yah by saving many souls alive. Because he had the same mind of what we read last night in Job chapter 6. Not my will be done, but thy will be done. If I be afflicted and be scourged, let that be done then. You still did it. That's what we have to sit back and look at, man. Can't use the word as an opportunity. Niggas do it every day. You know what I'm saying? Dudes use the word as a means to sleep with a woman. They use it as a means to fleece people out their money. They use it as a means to pull whatever stunts they be trying to pull. Some of y'all see all the memes that they be posting that, you know what I'm saying, in the course of your day. Or you done seen with your own 2 eyes where they talk about the stuff that these men do in the Christian church trying to use the freedom of the word as a means to fulfill their lust. They do it every single day. Just was talking to y'all about that last night. Well, you ain't heard about it. They said, well, you know them niggas going crazy, fat boy, because they say Israel United in Christ is being accused of raping women. You know what I'm saying? And that the leadership know that these dudes were raping women. And not only that, I can't confirm or deny. And not only that, the other accusation is they were making women marry men who they didn't want to marry. So they just would tell this woman, you got to marry Brother Tammy Tam, and that's it. Whatever names the nigga be coming up with. I know you ain't back there laughing. That name you had back there, can't even spell it right now. You can spell yours. It only like this here. Stanley, I don't think Stanley, you had one too, didn't you? Yeah, you had one.
That's a poem.
What it was?
They gave him a poem. Niggas with compassion.
They gave your name who? What is that mean? I'm talking about, I know that.
They gave me that name. Like, man, I'm like,
You gave me that name. How you said your name?
how you?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, nigga said, hey. I thought that nigga said Ryu, but you playing
I thought it was like honeycomb.
You said honeycomb. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, and you know, ain't nothing wrong. But like I told you, if dudes would have did it and they gave themselves a name and it was just their name in Hebrew, I really wouldn't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Kodesh.
Huh?
Kodesh. That's what poor man means, Kodesh.
Well, hey, man, I wouldn't be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? If you say my name is Kodesh, nigga, what that mean? That core in Hebrew. What can I say? That's your name. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Because that is your name. Y'all need to just be coming up with names.
He came up with my name. He was the name that was.
So Troy was the one passing our name. The name you had, that was your name.
Everybody else.
Okay, well see, I ain't know that. Okay, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? That's your name, then, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna change my name. Troy was out here like this here, nigga. I'm gonna call you Pootie Tang. D, did they get you too, D?
Yeah, they got it.
What her name was, Troy? What you call me? And what that name meant? Did that line up with her name?
No, she ain't like that.
I know she did, nigga. My mama named me D, nigga. My name ain't no Alva, nigga.
Mama didn't play.
You know what I'm saying? Say my name D. Like this here. When I go to work, don't anybody call me Alva. Don't nobody call me that when I see you niggas. You know what I'm saying? I be sitting right there to my I'm like, what this nigga calling? Oh, he talking to me. You know what I'm saying? We got this here, what T's on there. T called us at what it was. No, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, like this here, Brittany. What your name was again? I can't remember. No, don't try to second half, nigga. Don't try to second half what the first half was. You remember, nigga. You remember that second half. I know you remember that first one. Grape seed on the scene. Nigga say you gonna get a second half of that. I don't remember the first one. Nigga, please. I know it was something with a Y. Come on now. I know you did. You just threw that one up there too. And I'm talking about picture just steady cheese and grinning. Niggas like this here don't even know what that name is. I just seen it and put it up there.
I was so bad though, I wouldn't even answer the Corey no more.
I know you would. I can't walk on it. Oh, you want to answer? I'll be like this here. I bet when that white man say, Corey, you want your check? Here I go, son. Then it wasn't no shot for you in, nigga. Corey, get your paycheck. Yeah.
They call me Shalom.
Woo!
And he even had teachers calling him slow. We had classes there, they had teachers calling him
I was like, this here, nigga, your name Cord, nigga. I look on this roster, nigga, I see Cord. That's what it's gonna be. Don't answer if you want. I bet you won't answer that degree card. I bet they ain't call you Shaman when they came to get that degree. I bet you went up there and got it though. I bet you went up there and got it. Remember they say Cord McNair, my name ain't Shaman. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, hey, I'm messing you off, but that's a good thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got yours too, this. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You put that work, get your degree in. That good stuff right there. Just make sure you use it for, not just to have it. You know what I'm talking about? You know, a lot of black people be like this here. See, I got a degree. You see this right here?
It's on the wall.
It's right here. You know what I'm saying? That one thing on Kanye first album, he had me he said, I'm just going to go to school. You know what I'm saying? And get my degrees. You got some black folk, nigga got 70 degrees, ain't made $70,000 here.
Ain't made $50.
Nigga around here waiting tables. That nigga got 7 degrees though. He said, I'm going to get my PhD. He said, you a career student.
Yeah. They really are.
Oh, I know they really out there. You know what I'm saying? When they get finished, nigga got $250,000 worth of debt.
I gotta get right. I ain't gonna flip. I gotta get right.
I don't blame you, man. It don't make sense to get a degree and then don't. I told you, when I was in college, people majoring in literature. What you gonna do with that? You gonna write a book, nigga, write a book. You didn't need to go get a degree in literature. You know what I'm saying? That got to be, nigga, Daniel Bryan got a New York Times bestseller. I guarantee you this nigga did not go to school for literature. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know y'all had some niggas at fam that was around there talking about, I'm a literature major. And you looking at a nigga like, so what you gonna do with that degree? I don't know, it's my passion. So you're an idiot.
I like poetry.
Nigga say you don't need no degree for that. You don't need a major in no literature to do that. Like I told you last night, business management is the, I don't know what I want to do in college, favorite major. I don't know what I want to do. I'm a major in that though. They give me Bible some time.
Nowadays it's criminal justice. Nowadays.
Now it's criminal, hey, shoot.
Nowadays, when my homeboy said they major graphic and design. Like, bro, you can make flyers without getting into that.
Niggas say you majoring to make flyers.
You heard that major graphic and design?
Niggas say he majoring in graphic and design. Niggas say, shoot, niggas making flyers in their living room every day, B. Every day. Boy, I'm telling you, boy. You know what I'm saying? Niggas going to school majoring in golf. I wish that was funny, but it niggas on football squads doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, just like, man, college is a business. So if you're supposed to use that to further your business or whatever it is that you're doing, you know what I'm talking about? You go, I remember, like I said, I was into politics, right? I had Miss Washington, my professor, she said, you want to major in political science? I said, absolutely not. She said, why not? What type of job I'm going to get in that other than being a political science professor? What type of job I'm going to get with that? I got a political science degree. What am I going to do with that? The only way you can do, huh? Absolutely nothing. The only way I can do with that political science degree is try to intern with a politician. That's about it. I just know how government works. I wasted 4 years of my life for this. You know what I'm saying? That's what we just seen. They mad at Snoop Dogg's son because he quit playing football, but he say he want to make movies. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really nothing wrong with going to school for that, though. No, just do something with it. They come on back over here to Roman try to see it. I didn't say niggas went to school for graphic design. They say they going to criminal justice just to take it home. I thought niggas taking criminal justice because they want to be a police officer or a probation officer. Yeah, that's why I said, that's why I've never heard anybody say I'm majoring in criminal justice just to do it. Then you major in that, when you going to school for that? Oh, for real, you want to be around here touching dead bodies. You want to be a CSI nigga, see the hole in the body right here. We know the bullet came from over here. You gotta find it. You gotta find it. You in the lab. Yeah, testing all that stuff. Oh, she ain't got to touch the dead body. I ain't, man. I don't want to see all that stuff there, boy. Nigga fall out. You know what I'm saying? 6 and 6 one more time. He say, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. For he that is dead is free from sin. Don't you sit back and realize that when them kids were killed, that we were free from bondage, because we know sin is what has us in bondage. When the firstborn of Egypt was killed, them being dead freed us from the bondage that we were in. Now if we be dead with the Mashiach, we believe that we shall also live with him, knowing that Amashiach being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he lived unto the Most High. Likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto Elohim through Yahushua HaMashiach our Master. That's what you got to sit back and look at, because we know what verse 16 says. Drop down to verse 16, I'll read it anyway. Make it 15. Let's look what it says. Make it 14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. Now, according to what we just looked at, boy, I ain't seen one of them boxes in a long time. According to what we just looked at in Exodus, what do you take from that? I'm going to read it again. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. What would you take from that?
Coming up out of Egypt.
So what is the grace?
They're free from that bondage.
Huh?
They're free from the bondage.
But that's that free gift. But what was the grace? What brought that grace about? What brought that grace about that got them free from under that law? Because they were under the law and rule of the Egyptians. When they offered that Passover lamb, that's what freed them. That was a free. Remember when we looked at that? It was not by any works that we did. You know what I'm saying? A while back, my family was in that room right over there. Look what else he say, man. What then shall we sin because we are not under the law but under grace? Elohim forbid. Now come back and over here and look at Exodus chapter 20. And look what he told these people. Because he says, should you commit sin? And after that, Exodus 16, should we commit sin because this man done had us under grace? You got to remember, the same concept of grace to deliver us from bondage was shown in the law before the Lord even came. You know what I'm saying? These sinners be out here talking about we're under grace, we're under grace. Man, grace been in here from the jump street. What do you mean? In order for you to have that free gift, it had to already be represented before the Lord came to bring in what that free gift was truly talking about and showing. You know what I'm saying? These dudes don't even sit back and realize that. These people don't realize that, man. Us coming out of Egypt, this wasn't a story about us coming out of Egypt. Exodus 20 and about verse 18. And the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die. And listen what he said. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Now you sit back and look at it, right? Now I want to look at the key thing. He say the people were scared. Why were the people scared? What I'm talking about? Well, okay, but why didn't they want to see him? What caused, what was the impetus of them saying, man, Moses, you talk with us?
Everybody know they was sinning.
Listen what he said, because of the thunderings and the lightnings and the trumpet. So that means when that man spoke, guess what that means his voice was like? Powerful, loud. That means he meant every single solitary word that he said. And the people said, oh no. But she said, but you see that? You gonna respect me though. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm talking about, what I was telling y'all last night? I was telling what you told another day, like me and him had a debate about a matter, and niggas that hear our voice, and as I explained it to y'all, niggas think we finna fight. We not finna fight. But what I told you in the same instance when you go in the jungle, and two lions are roaring at each other. Them two lions don't back down. That doesn't mean that I want to eat this lion or attack it. I'm just letting you know I'm here. And he letting you know, well, nigga, I'm here. You know what I'm talking about? But then you see some lions and he go, roar, and nigga fall down and cow. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't no lion, he wasn't no man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling y'all, because y'all be like, man, y'all be talking loud. Boy, when the Lord meant what he said, that boy, they said the thing had thundering, lightning, noise of the trumpet. That means his voice was powerful. Wasn't nothing quiet about it. And when the people heard it, they say, boy, we want to talk to him. He said, man, look here, man, he did all that so his respect might be before your face. That you will respect me. That you will acknowledge that I have authority over you. That you will never get it in your mind to ever size me. And you know what happened? As soon as they got away from that mountain, they forgot all about it. And you know when the only time when that fear and that respect came back, when he started tearing their behind up, it was, oh, I'm sorry. Please, I love you, please. It's too late now. Some of y'all done got that whooping like this here. Mama, please. Ain't no mama, please now. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all been like this here trying to run. I know, Sharon, I know you do it. I know you probably be swinging your booty all out the way.
What she did.
Who? Well, Sharon look like he can move, boy. Say if he did you say? No, he like this here. If I can get a chance to good. You know what I'm saying? I can't let her tackle me. Because if she tackle me, I'm done. Look at that. Don't feel bad, Sharon. All of us done did it before. I know I done did. I can remember running from my mama like this here. And I can remember Joanne like this here. Don't you beat that baby. That's all I know I needed to do. Just hit it till grandma come out the room. You know what I'm saying? Because if I run long enough for grandma not to come out the room, grandma gonna save me. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Well, Joanne like this here. That was her favorite line. Don't you beat that baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm 5, 6 years old. I already know the lick. I already know what to do. You know what I'm saying? If I'm at grandma's house, all I got to do is just run. You know what I'm talking about? If she can't grab it, if she don't get a chance to grab it and strike me first, all I got to do is hit it. Because once I find Joanne like this here, what's wrong? She finna beat me. Don't you beat that baby. Come on over here, grandma, baby. It's over with. And you better not hit me neither, because I come back, I'm going to tell. She can whoop you. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, though. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. I'm telling you, straight, nobody ain't like this here, boy. Every last one of us done hit one. How many of you boys ain't never hit one? I know you hit one, like. You already know your mama ain't play no game. You know what I'm talking about? Like this here, woo-woo. Love you ever had to hit one? No, Dwight ain't here. Dwight said he gonna fight. It's like this here. Wish you would have bowled like this here. You would have bowled up at my mama. You'd have got knocked out. Soon as you would have stood up, wow! You'd have been like, well, I never thought that woman could hit that hard. Found out today. Found out today. I'm talking about throat punch too. Wow! Ain't even crossed my mind, boy. I ain't even want to test it. But you got some dude be like, boy, I might could have whooped my mama, but I was too scared to try. You know what I'm saying? Or you been jumped up and found out. Oh boy. Why did I put? But I knew some boy. Boy, you to see him, mama? We wouldn't run up on her, boy. Well, I seen her bam Darnell on his neck. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, they was out there in the back of the house apartment doing something. She like this here been kind of saying, leave the boy alone. I told you leave him alone, nigga. Whoa! I said, oh my Lord. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, McConnell ain't play no game, boy. Boy, McConnell ain't play no game, boy. We like 13, 14 years old, nigga. Little Darnell and little Robert almost grown. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, she banned them niggas on their neck. Boy, I done seen her walk up punch you to see dead in the chin. Whoa! Right, this here. See, y'all don't know me. He knew McConnell, boy. McConnell ain't play no game, boy. I'm talking about play no game. Boy, you couldn't do nothing but love her now, but she wouldn't play no game now. She would knock it clean out. You know what I'm talking about? You couldn't even come to her house talking about she got some food in there, talking about, baby, you want something to eat? I ain't hungry. Nigga, stop playing. You know what I'm talking about? She was hood with it, so you ain't play no game now. You know how black people be. You know you want to play, but you're trying to be, you know what I'm saying? You try that, but kind of ain't going for that nigga, please. But don't, you got to tell people one time. One time. Straight up, I'm going to get it, boy. Come on over here. Finn, it's something else in Exodus I want you to see, though. Before we go back to Romans 6, holding Galatians chapter 5, too. He said, the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, thou shalt say unto the children of Yasharal, you have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall you make unto you gods of gold. Listen, I want to see, this is what I want you to see. I want to see who see what we talking about right here before we proceed, because it just popped in my head. I want y'all to see it. An altar of earth shalt thou make unto me, and shall sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen, in all places where I record my name. I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto my altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Why do you think that's important when we look at it?
I know it makes me think about the first Adam, you know,
Yes, he was.
When we look at the stone, we think about how they had their faith in the stone, in the building, in the actual building of the synagogue. We know Yahushua was that stone. He was that solid.
But sit back, he said an altar of earth. What you do on the altar?
Sacrifice.
Well, what you think that's like I said? Because Adam wasn't no sacrifice. He was a sacrifice.
I'm saying Yahushua was a sacrifice.
You know what I'm saying? So if he the altar of earth, how is he an altar of earth then? Huh?
Yeah, he's the word made flesh. He's made from the dust of the earth. The same way.
That's what I'm saying. They say if he's an altar of the earth, that means he was a man. He said, he say, an altar of the earth thou shalt make unto me. Was not this man born of a woman? Or was he not the altar when he was up on that tree? Remember, we looked at that he was the altar, right? Then look at the other thing. All your burnt offerings and your saying, all the places where I will record my name. So what do you think this means by all the places I will record my name and I will bless thee? See, come over here and look at something in 1 Peter chapter 1. I think it's James chapter 1, actually. James 1:1. Who that is, a little muffin back there? People, you holding out on that snacks. That baby sound like she needs them snacks back there. She say, stop holding out now. She say, you a known couple. She tired of the couple. James 1:1. James, a servant of Elohim and of Yahushua and of the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. If the 12 tribes are scattered abroad, that means, remember we looked at this last night with 1 Peter chapter 2. You are lively stones and built up a spiritual house, offering sacrifices acceptable to the Father by Yahushua HaMashiach. That's what Peter told him. So he said this altar of earth is where you make your burnt offerings, your peace offerings. Because remember, he said, I came to give them peace, right? Yeah. Say, I came to give them life. Everything he said, matter of fact, let me look at John chapter 10 so you can just see what he's saying. So you got to sit back and realize, right? What did the Lord tell you in Matthew 18? He said, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am in the midst of them, right? So wherever he is, don't you realize that that is an altar of earth? That you done made that sacrifice on, because you would sit back and be offering yourselves upon him. You know what I'm talking about? He said, wherever I record my name. So any place where he is, that's why the key thing is you sit back and look at it, which y'all know we ain't never used the name Jesus no way. That's how you sit back and you look at most of the congregation that use that. He ain't nowhere around them. You look at the one that use Yahweh Shai, he ain't nowhere around them. You know what I'm saying? I seen a dude talking about the cookout they had in Harlem. And they were like, you know, you came to the blanket cookout. This is what you talking about. Dude say, so how you been walking since you've been in the truth? You're blanket right. This your response when he say this. You know what I'm talking about? And you're going to tell me that this man's name is recorded now. Because he said, wherever my name is recorded. You know, in the book of Acts, it say the Lord added many to the body as should be saved. In all them places that they went. You know what I'm talking about? Because his name was recorded in the places. When you look at the 7 synagogues of Asia, his name was recorded in those places. You know what I'm talking about? You sit back and look at it now. No matter any gathering, group, congregation, assembly in the 4 corners of the earth right now we speak. If they true synagogues and assemblies of Yah, that meant the name of Yahushua is recorded in those places. Therefore, they can be acceptable sacrifices, acceptable to the Father by this man, because they've given yourself up as a living sacrifice. You live under him.
So can we look at that kind of the same time where he said, I'll take away your stone hearts and give you a heart of flesh?
Yeah. Now when you look at it, he say make an altar of stone, he say don't bring no huge stone because it's going to be polluted. So when he said, man, if you're going to make one of stone, we know Hamashiach was an altar made of stone. What's the only thing could have polluted it? What's the only thing could have polluted it? Sin. You know what I'm talking about? So you see there was no iron tool brought upon him to pollute him. Therefore, the offerings and sacrifices I can accept. What we just looked at in Isaiah 59 when he said, it's your iniquities that have separated you from me, that I will not hear, and that I will not see, and that I will not save. You know full well if a Mashiach commits sin, there's nowhere in the world this man could accept that sacrifice that this man made on this altar. I can't take it. If I take it, I go against my own law. Just why we're telling you a dude say Yah's not subject to his own law. If he do it, he go against his own word. And we know he's not going to do that. John 10. About 9. But guess what these niggas think gonna happen? They think the Lord gonna go against his own word. How many of y'all before you knew any better thought the Lord would go against his own word? I bet a lot of niggas thought that. I ain't never thinking it didn't make sense, but I done read dudes that think that. You know what I'm saying? He said, I am the door, but if any man enter in, he shall be saved and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief come not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. When we sit back and we look at Pharaoh, all he was trying to do was steal, kill, and destroy us. And a lamb was manifested to deliver us that we might have life and have it in abundance. What was the thing we looked at Wednesday? I got vineyards for you, you didn't plant them. Got houses for you, you didn't build them. Got a land you didn't even work for. You ain't had to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because when we turn around, it's the same thing what we looking at in America. All they want to do is steal, kill, and destroy. Jeremiah 2 and about 13. I'm going to show you everything we do, they steal. You know what I'm saying? You know how many stuff, it's things that black people done created and did that they ain't going to tell you they did. Because all they want to do is steal. Get what? It's like the book you were reading and destroy, come up with all these, use black people for guinea pigs. You know what I'm saying? Killing you dead in the street. He said, why did you shoot him? He flinched, sir. He flinched. Did he have a gun on him? I think he had a gun. I think he was reaching. They like to say, sir, that was a phone. That was his wallet. You know how many black people been killed in America reaching, police telling them to get their wallet, they reach for their wallet, they shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, how you gonna shoot me and you ask me to get something? I seen a picture of a meme somebody made, they say tent to cut down on police brutality. And the tent was an old white man and a white woman driving, but on the inside of the car were 2 young niggas. You know what I'm saying? So when they ride past, you think you looking at 2 old white folks. They say they gonna shoot them. But I'm gonna tell you though, when they get real, they ain't gonna care. Cause boy, how we seen them do that lady in New Orleans during Katrina when she said she had a pistol. Boy, they took that old white woman back on her neck. You know what I'm saying? It was a little frail old white woman. She said, hey man, we straight, we got food, we got everything. She said, I got a gun. Before they even seen the gun, they took that woman back on her neck. Wow! And took her pistol, I'm dead serious though. And took her pistol. They took that little old white woman and dumped her right on her neck. Like they didn't even hesitate. So if you know they'll do one of them like that, what they gonna do to you? As soon as you say a gun, they just gonna shoot you. We'll figure it out later. 2 and 13. Make it 14. That's what I want. He say, is Yasharal a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? You wonder why they take everything from you. But look at the key thing. Look what he asked. What's important about what he asked? That man just said, is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Is he a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why are they stealing from him? Well, let's look and see if he was a servant. Because he said right there, you should take that occasion to love one another and serve one another. What we started off in Galatians 5 and 13, right? Let's look at Luke 18, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 16. and 6. Or 17 and about 7. 6 is better. Matter of fact, verse 5. Luke 17 and 5. And the apostle said unto the Lord, increase our faith. And the Lord said, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you. You know, that's a nigga favorite line to scream, man. If I just have faith as a mustard seed, nigga don't believe not nothing. Look what the next thing he say. But which of you having a servant plowing or feeding cattle will say unto him by and by, when he has come from the field, go sit and sit down to meat. And would not rather say unto him, make ready therewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me, till I have eaten and drunken, and afterwards thou shalt eat and drink. Doth he that thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not. So likewise, when you have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which is our duty to do. Now this is what the Hamashiach is telling the apostles. Do you think he didn't show you that same similitude of behavior? Because what did he tell them? What did it say in the law about a servant? What did the law say about it?
Masters, be kind to your servants.
What did the law say about it? I narrowed it down. What did it say in Genesis about that? That man told you in the book of Genesis the elder will serve the young. You know what I'm saying? It's not Yahushua the elder. Is he not the firstborn of all creation? Is he not there? Don't niggas love to say he Christ our big brother? Don't niggas love to use that terminology? And did he not come to serve you? So we can say, is he not Yasharal? Is he not Israel? Is he not the one that got power to rule with the Most High? Is he not a servant? He said, I did not come to be ministered unto. I came to minister. I did not come to be served. I came to serve. That's what he told you. How did he serve you? I'm going to lay my life down for my friends. He said, for this cause I was born, and for this cause I came into the world. This is going back to, this man had liberty. He did not use his liberty as an opportunity to fulfill the lust of his flesh. Not one time. He did it as an opportunity to love and serve his brothers. See, come over here in John 15, look what it says. John 15 and 13. Just look and see what the Lord said. Man, the little muffin said, you need to tighten up like that, lady. Huh? I'm telling the muffin, I ain't with it. Where is the bitters? I see you right there. She happy too. Hey, well, I ain't mad at you that you're happy. Greater love had no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant know not what his Lord do. But I have called you friends, for all things that I've heard of my Father I have made known unto you. Like we read last night, I have not concealed the words of the Kodesh one. I ain't hid. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you, that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Because wherever my name is recorded, I will bless thee. Now you see the key thing like this here? All us sitting in here right now, anybody who's serving Yah by way of his Son in spirit and truth in the four corners of the earth, that man, you did not get chosen of yourself. That man picked you to hear the word. You know what I'm saying? It's billions of people on the earth, and he opens your ear for you to hear. So then you got to realize if he appointed you to bring forth fruit, that means you would have to die so you could live, which means you need to rid yourself of that bondage to have that freedom in the Lord so you can bring forth that fruit. Because that means you sit back and realize, what other reason is you here other than the Lord open your ear to hear the word? There's no other reason for it. It's the only reason why I'm sitting right here. I can't speak for nobody else. Because if he didn't open my ear to hear the word 6 years ago, then guess what I'd be doing? What I had always been doing. Unless he would have seen at another time to open my ear to it, I'm going to be doing what I've always been doing. Every last one of us was doing what we always did till that man opened your ear. You know what I'm saying? You could have had knowledge of it or whatever the case may be. But when he opened your ear and you like this here, now I got an ear. Now I can hear. Time to go. It's time to go. You know what I'm saying? It's time to go. It's time to make some wholesale changes. It's time to make it's moving day. You know what I'm saying? It's moving day. That's how we had to start looking at it. It's moving day. So now we see he is serving. How is he a homeborn slave though? I'll show you how he's a homeborn slave. Zechariah 9. And after Zechariah 9, John chapter 7. Zechariah 9 about verse 9. Yeah, it's about 5 o'clock. Don't put me on here. Don't no time clock, bud. No time clock. You be all right then.
Yeah, I don't know what you said.
Yeah, but hey, man, Lord ain't done.
All right. All right.
Hey, I said Lord will.
When it says homeborn slave, does that have to be somebody that was born in the home?
You finna find out if he was a homeborn slave, man.
When that came into it.
If you a homeborn slave, don't you mean not that way? That's self-respectful, ain't it? You think he was a homeborn slave? How was he a homeborn slave?
But what I'm thinking about is thinking about David coming into Saul's home and serving him.
Yeah, I mean, but he wasn't, was he a slave though? He wasn't born in Saul's house.
I'm thinking about Joseph too, how he came into the home. But I can say he wasn't born there.
Let's sit back and look at Zechariah 9 and 10, or 9 and 11, what I want. As for thee also by the blood of the covenant, I have sent forth the prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn ye to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto you. I keep been referencing the last 2 days. What did he say? My flesh shall rest in hope. We talked about that last night. My hope is in the end, right? But the strength of my hope. So we would sit back and look at a Mashiach. Don't you sit back and say, as I live by the Father, even you live by me. So I would think he would be a prisoner of hope. So if he's a homeborn slave, let's look at Zechariah 12 and 7. Let's see how he's a homeborn slave. And after that, John chapter 1. We still look at John chapter 7. It says, Yahuwah also shall save the tents of Yehudah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Yahuwah. So when we look at John chapter 1 about verse 12, then let's see what it says. And y'all should know how he was spoiled. How was he spoiled? No, you look like you're stoned. We'll look at it and show you how he was spoiled. John 1 and 12, or 1 and 10, I should say. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. You know what I'm saying? So that means, who was his own? Who did he come to? He came to the people of Yehudah, didn't he? So that means he would have been a homeborn slave. So when we see John chapter 7, we will see how he was a homeborn slave. Just like Paul said, I turn around and we could get the epistle of Philemon. Y'all know what epistle that is? It's a small one. You don't read it often. But we're going to get the epistle of Philemon after this John chapter 7. John 7 and 30 and 40. John 7 and 40. And get the epistle of Philemon. Y'all know what that's at? If anybody don't know where it's at. Like Philemon is right before Hebrews. And he says, many of the people therefore when they heard this saying said, of a truth this is the prophet. Others said, this is the Mashiach. But some said, shall the Mashiach come out of Galilee? Have not the scripture said that Mashiach come of the seed of David and out of the town of Bethlehem where David was? Where was the man born at? In Bethlehem. Homeborn slave. You know what I'm saying? Now turn around and let's look at Philemon right here, what Paul's finna tell. Look at about verse 4. I thank my Elohim, making mention of thee always in my prayers, hearing of thy love and faith which thou hast towards the Lord Yahshua, and toward all saints. The communication of thy faith may become effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing which is in you, in Yahushua HaMashiach. For we have great joy and consolation in thy love, because of the bowels of the saints are refreshed by thee. You know what I'm saying? This is what he say now. Brother, wherefore I thought that though I might be much bold in Mashiach to enjoin thee that which is convenient, yet for love's sake, I rather beseech thee, being as such as one, Paul the aged, and now also a prisoner of Yahushua HaMashiach. Yahushua was a prisoner of righteousness. You know, Paul said that he was a prisoner of the Lord, right? So that means he was what? He was in bondage to the word. Why would he be in bondage to it? Because he was joined with it. He was merged with it. Paul just told you, I'm locked up for the word right now. I'm in bondage to it. You know what I'm saying? Joseph, like I say, Joseph wasn't born in Egypt. They thought he was an Egyptian. And it came in, and we sit back and we look at us, we came in Egypt. We were homeborn slaves when we were in Egypt. You look at Moses. He was a homeborn slave. You know what I'm talking about? He was a servant. Because he served them, they just didn't spoil Moses. So how did they spoil the Lord then? When they took all his stuff. They parted his garments in 4 places. You sit back and you look at it, and now we look at us as a people. We homeborn slaves because we born in a strange land. You know what I'm talking about? We servants to a people that are not us, and they take everything they got from us. So it turn around and everything that happened to the Lord is happening to us as a whole. That's why the book of Job said, who teacheth like thee? We don't even see it. Come back to Galatians 5. We're going to roll him out here. Lank, I'm going to need you to get ready to cut him off. Galatians 5 and 13, one more time. Say, for brethren, you have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. He say, for all the laws fulfilled in one word, even this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But if you bite and devour one another, take heed you be not consumed one of another. That's what Saul did. He tried to bite and devour David. You know what I'm saying? Just like we tried to bite and devour the Lord. Time said we can't go into it in depth. Not right now. Maybe later. We got enough. We're going to be rolling in a minute anyway. This I say then, walk in the Spirit. You shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so you cannot do the things that ye would. Which was all starting what we looked at in Jude, right? When you sensual, being separated, not having the Spirit. Because when you sit back and you're going by your emotions and your flesh, then you're going to make decisions and be dictated according to that. That's why he said walk in the Spirit, and the flesh won't have no issue for you. But once you get that opportunity to know liberty, as we sit back and look at, you can't use that liberty as an opportunity to fulfill the lust of your flesh. You know what I'm saying? Can't use that as an opportunity. Matthew 5:17. When we sit back, come on, man. When we sit back and we look at a lot of these dudes, if you see all them dudes you be seeing on YouTube with their Ninja Turtle outfits on. You know what I'm talking about? What do they sit back and they be ready to do? They use that kiss my boo. I need 4, 5 wives. Your so-called liberty, you using that to fulfill your lust. Think not that I come to destroy the law. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. Listen, nigga. Go on here. Hold on. Say you got to let my boy get him some time. He said, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come to fulfill. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. Move, live. Think not that I come to destroy the law of the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For truly I say unto you, till Shamahim and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of Shamahim. Praise ye Yahuwah for Yahushua HaMashiach in the word. And thank the Lord. Let's go ahead and put this piece of stuff right so we can get ready to go do what we got to go do. Thank the Lord. How you got the man? Draws in the street? Golly.